I swear to God, we did not do it. I swear it was not our fault. I'm here with the great, the wonderful Hugh Jackman, star of Eddie the Eagle. Now, I know the year is still young, but I got to say, man, this is already one of my favorite movies of the year. So congratulations on a wonderful film. This seems like a great role. One of my favorite scenes was the Bo Derek scene. I'm curious, did you have a favorite scene as well? I imagine that was a lot of fun to shoot.
I did. I love the Bo Derek scene, but I also love the montage scene. You know, with the Hall and Oates in the background. In fact, the music in this movie is so great.
So great.
And I'll be honest, I had so much fun working with Taron. I mean, it's his third or fourth film, but he was
amazing talent, isn't he? Yeah.
To go from Kingsman to Eddie the Eagle. I mean, it's deceptively difficult to play a role like Eddie because he's kind of goofy and he is comedic and funny, but charming and winning at the same time with that grit, and he plays it perfectly. And to think that you could be a leading man in an action movie and then do that, I can't think of anyone else who could do it. We had a blast.
I'm here with Taron Egerton, the star of Eddie the Eagle, and it's great to talk to you. I really enjoyed seeing you in this role, especially after Kingsman, because we get to see you be a badass, and then we get to see you kind of play that awkward like underdog in this one, which is so great.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for any actor, the fun of it is doing things that are kind of wildly different and far away from yourself. So, yeah, it was a really fun opportunity.
What did you learn about Eddie that surprised you the most in your research for the film?
I mean, there's some incredible things that guy did to get where he got to. I mean, he had absolutely no money. He used to sleep in the corridors of a mental asylum, like because he had nowhere to stay when he was out in Germany training. So, I mean, the things he did were really quite incredible to try and achieve his dream.
I'm here with the great, the wonderful Dexter Fletcher. You were already one of my favorite actors, and I think now you're definitely one of my favorite directors. This is your third film.
It is.
How does it feel now that you've got two under your belt and this one going? Does it feel like the third time's a charm?
Well, you live in hope. Yeah. I mean, I'm very lucky. I got Taron and Hugh and Matthew Vaughan's my producer, which is a long time collaboration really with Matthew.
Kind of like a big family.
It is. It's that way, which is really good. I mean, but the great thing about Matthew is he doesn't. He didn't ask me to direct the film because we're friends. I think he appreciated my first two films as well, and so that's a real kind of a charm for me, like you say, because he's such a great filmmaker and a great producer. To have his backing at this stage of my career as a director is fantastic.
Was there anything surprising that you learned about Eddie in the process of making this film that maybe kind of you took away from it and thought, wow, that's really incredible?
A lot of things. That he just did another jump about 3 weeks ago, age 52, for charity. He's still doing it. He absolutely loves it. But more, I remember the story. So I'm not sure how old you are, but I was about 19, 20, and I remember watching it, and I kind of thought he was a prankster, like having a bit of a laugh. That was his exterior, like a bit of a clown. Underneath, determination and a desire to prove everyone wrong and to fulfill his dream. And I found it really inspiring.
Let's talk a little bit about the skiing. Had you had experience skiing before? Or was that something you had to learn all that brand new?
I had to learn to ski for the movie, which was great. That's one of the other wonderful things about being an actor is that you get to learn new skills. But it's a lot of work to do. Yeah.
And I know you've worked, obviously, at Dexter. We were talking about how it's kind of one big family with Matthew and Dexter and all these guys together. Yeah. Did it have kind of that sense of like a family project on the set?
Yeah, it was. I mean, lots of the same crew, same DOP. Dexter has, been a collaborator with Matthew for many, many years, going right back to Lock, Stock. And I'm a more recent member of that family, I suppose. But it is a really nice feeling to be part of a gang who make such great movies. I'm about to embark on my third with Matthew in Kingsman 2. And I'm very, very, very excited about it.
And the last thing I want to ask you is working with you. One of my favorite scenes was the Bo Derek scene. Do you have a personal favorite scene?
Do you know what? I love that scene, and I love the Hall and Oates training montage. I think,
great.
Which is
the whole soundtrack is great.
I mean, all credit to Dexter. He's picked brilliantly. But I love that scene. It really makes me giggle, and Hugh and I just had a blast making it.
Awesome! Congratulations, man. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you so much.
No, likewise. Thank you.
This has a great throwback quality. It almost reminds me of like old 1980s inspirational sports films. And I'm curious, I mean, the music, everything about it, was that a conscious choice or was that something that kind of magically came out as you were shooting it?
I mean, obviously, we're in that environment, we're in that world, and I'm a product of that period anyway. There's films like The Rachel Papers, which is back in the 1980s and stuff that I was around in. And I mean, obviously, I think it's more successful than we possibly imagined it would be. It captures it in a way that, is even stronger and more engaging than we thought maybe. But we said, yeah, let's use all electronic music from the period. Let's not use any other instruments apart.
I loved hearing Two Tribes Go to War. That was awesome.
Well, that's great. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, it cost us a bit of money, but it's so effective, it's so powerful, and we made sure we didn't use any kind of orchestra. All the instruments are electronic of the period, So yeah, it's great to sort of step back into that period and that time.
Well, and I love the fact that it also kind of spotlights the fact that the Olympics in and of itself, it can really make like a small town or a group of people, it can give them a chance to shine where maybe otherwise they wouldn't have that opportunity.
Exactly, and I think particularly at that period in the Olympics, it was a lot more open, and it wasn't so subject to massive kind of corporate endorsement, and there was a space for the little guy to come through the ranks or find a way through and realise a dream. And that's what I think is kind of strong for me about the film, is that he's just a guy who just believes in himself, and that's such a hard thing to do. He just keeps going and just doesn't take on board any of the negativity. He just keeps going, and it's kind of endearing and crazy, but there's something brilliant about it, I think.
Well, I know they got to pull you. It's a great pleasure to meet you, and please keep up the great work.
Thank you
Thank you very much.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
The last thing I'll ask you, because we are a kind of comic book website, are you excited about the prospect of doing possibly an R-rated Wolverine movie? How do you feel about that?
This last Wolverine, all I can tell you, man, is I've never been more determined to deliver the authentic Wolverine that we all know and love. So, for me, it's not talking about our ratings. It's none of that. It's my promise to you to, yeah.
You're doing it, man. Thanks, buddy. Good to see you.